healer in you, the king, the queen, the magician, the lover in you. Every single day, we are called to walk in our purpose. Answer the call. Lay down your burden and anything that holds you back and take your rightful place. The battle is everywhere. It's right in your face. Let's go.
Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Welcome home, family, and join us for the fun. Colorful guest people everywhere under the sun. Interesting conversations. Prayers first has begun. Invocation, manifestation, conversation then will come. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramid. Let's start drinking some water, juice or tea. King Killer's recommended for you and me. Guayusa mixed together, maple syrup or honey. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Oh, magnets, crystals, pyramids. Oh, magnets, crystals, pyramids. Learn from the healers, crystals, pyramid. Learn from the healers, the artists, the seers, authors and teachers, dissolving your fears. Workshops of wisdom, the circle is wide. Plant medicine whispers, the planets align. All magnets, crystals, pyramid. Oh, magnets, crystals, pyramid. Oh, magnets, crystals, pyramid. Oh, magnets, crystals, pyramid. Crystals and pyramids, magnets that spin. Organ awakening the power within. Tantra and herbs, the gateways ignite. Shamanic drums calling truth into light. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Psychedelics painting vision so bright. Planetary activists guarding the night. Awareness expanding the cosmos in view. Higher vibrations are flowing through you. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Yeah. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Oh, man.
Peace, everyone. Think Brother Abdullah will be on here soon. Welcome to another episode of Moorish Monday on Magnets, Crystals, Pyramids. Today I will be presenting, Yisrael Bey, will be presenting my linguistic lesson, the basic linguistic lesson, the difference between etymology and semantics.
Islam, bro. Abdullah's not going to be on. You got the whole ship tonight.
Okay. Yep.
All right. Peace.
Peace. Thank everyone for their attention tonight. Please like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. All right, let's get into tonight's lesson. This is from a linguistic lesson originally called Etymology of the Word God, a basic lesson on the linguistic methodology of reconstruction of words and historical sound changes. We can't address the tongue without addressing the brain. This part right here that's disconnected from the tongue and the brain, the cord that's disconnected, is called the hypoglossal nerve. So this lesson is to reconnect the hypoglossal nerve. The function of a hypoglossal nerve, also known as the cranial nerve 12, it provides motor control for all intrinsic and most intrinsic muscles of the tongue, which is essential for speech, swallowing, and manipulating food in the mouth. Its functions includes enabling the tongue to stick out, change shape, and move from side to side. Detailed functions of the hypoglossal nerve. Speech. It enables the tongue to move and articulate in ways necessary for forming words. Swallowing. It moves forward around the mouth, helps to form a food bolus, and pushes it forward, pushes it toward the pharynx, pharynx, pardon me, P-H-A-R-Y-N-X. Protrusion and retraction. It allows the tongue to be stuck out, protruded, and pulled back in. Tongue shape and position. It changes the tongue shape, e.g. making it shorter or narrower, and allows for precise positioning for speaking and swallowing. How function is affected by damage. Tongue deviation. If the nerve is damaged on one side, the tongue will deviate toward the weak side when protruded. Muscle atrophy. The tongue muscles on the affected side may become weaker and waste away over time. Speech and swallowing difficulties. Damage can lead to slurred speech, difficulty chewing, and problems manipulating food in the mouth. So that's just a little background or insight on the hypoglossal nerve. All right, this lesson is by Word Step Study Group, Yisrael Bey, founder and teacher. Contact information on Facebook page. Type in Yisrael Bey. You'll find my page there. Word Step Study Group. You can type that in on Facebook as well. There's a page for the Word Step Study Group. YouTube channel. You can type in at Word Step Study Group. All one word. Capitalize the W, the S in step, the S in study, and the G in group. Email, you can contact me by email at wordstepstudygroup333@gmail.com. Quotes. The basic tool for the manipulation of reality is the manipulation of words. If you can control the meaning of words, you can control the people who must use the words. By Philip K. Dick. The true sense meaning of a word must not be ignored, or the ignorant will indeed create a world of nonsense. And also, grammar must not be ignored, or your tongue shall be against you. Those are a couple of my quotes. Preface. The author intends to advance the general public to the next level of word comprehension and speech development by introducing a proper methodological way of studying/teaching some of the most basic and fundamental elements of linguistics, e.g., phonology, morphology, etymology, and semantics. The reader will become conscious of the way sounds are produced and how sounds and letters are conveyed into different language families of Indo-European origins, i.e. English words of the Germanic language, transliterated to or from French words of the Italic language family. Table of content. Acknowledgements. Brother Taj Tariq Bey's comment on my linguistic lesson. NYP talk show, Ron Brown captures the essence of my linguistic lesson. NYP talk show, co-host Mikey Fever comments during my linguistic lesson. Brother Brock Ewing gives positive feedback on my linguistic lesson. Chapter 1, Conversation between Yisrael and Yisrael Bey. Conversation between Yisrael and Yisrael Bey, part 1 on page 1. Conversation between Yisrael and Yisrael Bey, part 2 on page 2. A basic lesson on the linguistic methodology of sound shift, pages 3 through 4. Translation versus transliteration on page 4. Supporting evidence / findings of fact, etymology of the word Jesus on page 5. Yisrael Bey's rebuttal to Yisrael's claims on page 6. Chapter 2, Indo-European languages. Tools of linguistics, sound chart and language chart, page 7. The morphology of words using transliteration, page 8. Comparative linguistics, examples 1 and 2, on page 9. Indo-European family language chart, on page 10. Indo-European language tree, on page 11. Transliterations of the word God, on page 12. Transliterations of the word mother, on page 13. And the Indo-Europeans in historical linguistics, page 14. Chapter 3, Etymology versus Semantics. The core principle of etymology and semantics, page 15. Etymology and vocabulary, page 13, will be on page 16. So etymology and vocabulary, page 13, is a page from the book by Brother Abdullah El Talib Mosley Bey called Etymology and Vocabulary, and it's page 13 from that book. So it'll be on page 16 in this book. Also, etymology and vocabulary, pages 14 through 15, will be on page 17 of this book. Semantic studies did the meaning of the word evolve or devolve, pages 18 through 23. Chapter 4, Sounds of Linguistic Symbols. International Phonetic Alphabet, Vowels, page 24. The technical name and traditional name for vowels, page 25. International Phonetic Alphabet, Consonants, page 26. English consonant sound and IPA symbols, page 27. The technical name for consonants, page 28. Linguistic symbols and their sound function, page 29. Theta and eth, where do they go? Pages 30 through 32. Elements of phonology, epenthesis, and elision, page 33. Final question and answer, page 34. Hypoglossal nerve, page 34. Today's lesson we'll be discussing chapter 3, Etymology versus Semantics. The core principle of etymology and semantics. Etymology and vocabulary, semantic studies did the meaning of the word evolve or devolve. All right. So the core principle of etymology and semantics. Etymology examines the original behavior or function of a word before its social application, evolution, while semantics examines the behavior or function of a word after its social application, devolution. Etymology, the core principle of etymology. The core principle of etymology is historical linguistic development. Historical linguistic development is the evolution as well as the devolution of a word within different languages through phonology, i.e. transliterations and sound shifts, and through morphology, i.e. translations and prefixes, suffixes, infixes, circumfixes, and superfixes. Semantics. The core principle of semantics. The core principle of semantics is compositionality. a complex expression derived from the meanings of its individual parts and how they are combined. This principle explains how people can understand Black vernacular English or slang. Example: word plus object plus concept equals reality. Word plus concept plus object equals reality. So we have the word apple, we have the object, the fruit, and in the mind they create the concept, which is the imagery, which creates our reality. Or you can have the word, then you have the imagery created in your mind, which is the concept, conceived, plus object, the food or the fruit, named an apple. A more detailed breakdown on etymology and semantics is on the next page. So this is Etymology and Vocabulary, page 13, by Professor Abdullah El Talib Mosey Bey. See mooresandmasonry.org to get this book, Etymology and Vocabulary. And there are other books as well on mooresandmasonry.org. Etymology, an aid in reading and dictionary study skills. Etymology is derived from the Greek root etym, meaning history, origin, true, or real, and log meaning study, science, word, theory. Etymology is an indispensable discipline used as a foundation for other fields of study. Webster's New International Dictionary of the English Language, 1921 edition, defines etymology as the origin or derivation of a word as shown by its analysis into elements, by pointing out the root or primitive upon which it is formed, or by referring it to an earlier form in its parent language. Also, an account setting forth such origin or derivation, often with facts bearing upon the word's relationships, the formal history of a word. Semantics is the field of study that reveals how words gain connotative meanings and become, through European social engineering, the common understanding, ordinary meaning, plain meaning, and the established meaning. Linguists who are lexicographers place connotative meanings in dictionaries, and over a period of time, the etymological/original meanings and applications of words are de-emphasized and eventually lose their true essence in the general public. Because the general public is not taught the etymology of words, the people are conditioned through European social engineering, because the general populace is not taught the etymology of words, the people are conditioned through European social engineering to accept the connotative and distorted meanings as being the true, real, and original meanings. Denotation is derived from the Latin word denotere, meaning to mark completely. Denotation is the state of using an object or symbol to signify, indicate, mark, or designate a word. The objects or symbols used as markers for words are the referents. That is to say that to denote is to tie a word to its objects or symbol. Again, that is to say that to denote is to tie a word to its objects or symbol. The word chair denotes a piece of furniture having a seat, legs, back, and often arms. So those are the elements of a chair. The seat, one element; legs, another element; back, another element; and often arms, a possible element. The elements are the parts of a whole, the parts that make a whole. It must be made clear that etymology is not the study of words. This oversight would render a huge misconception into the study of etymology. It is important to emphasize that etymology is the study of the history, origin, and true meaning of words. Further, it is proper to note that there is a clear distinction between the study of the true meanings of words and the study of the meaning of words. Semantics is science that deals with the meaning of words. Let's examine the word nice as a way to comprehend the importance of distinguishing the difference between the study of the true meaning of words and the study of words. The etymology of the word nice means not knowing, stupid, and ignorant. This meaning is found in the etymological brackets in dictionaries. Latin, nescius, ne, ne, not, plus sire, to know. The meanings that the general public uses for the word nice are the connotations for the word. These meanings are found in the entry-level section of dictionaries. The entry-level section have a list of various definitions that are numbered. That's from page 13 of Etymology and Vocabulary. This is pages 14 through 15 in Etymology and Vocabulary by Professor Abdullah El Talib Mosley Bey. Again, you can get the book at mooresandmasonry.org. Etymology reveals how the connotative meanings of words become the general public accepted and established new meanings. Connotative meanings are placed in dictionaries, and over a period of time, the original meanings and applications of words are de-emphasized and eventually loses their true essence in the general public. Thus, since general populace is not taught the foundation of words, it is socialized into accepting connotative meanings as being the true, real, and original meanings. The students of etymology, in using the original meaning of words as their foundation, will be able to determine if a word has been given new meaning. The etymology of the word slave reveals that the new meaning interjected into the social fabric of society is far from its original and true meaning. The entry-level meanings for the word slave contradict its etymological meaning. The meaning displayed in the brackets. The original meaning of the word dollar is completely different from that used by the general public. The true meaning for the word consider has an astronomical usage. The origin and historical development of a linguistic form of words are shown by determining its basic elements. 1. 2. Earliest known use. 3. Changes in form and meaning. 4. Tracing its transmission from one language to another. 5. Identifying its cognates in other languages. 6. Reconstructing its ancestral form where possible. 7. Explaining the changes words have undergone. 8. The variations of form and spelling. 9. From its first appearance in the language to the present time. And 10. All its different meanings and shades of meaning. So now we're going to get into the semantic studies. Let me see if there are any questions so far. All right. All right, so the semantic studies. Again, the basic tool for the manipulation of reality is the manipulation of words. He who controls the meaning of words controls those who must use the words. Philip K. Dick. Semantics provides a crucial theoretical framework for translation. Translation is fundamentally and deeply intertwined with semantics. The primary purpose of translation is to accurately convey meaning from a source language to a target language. A translator who only focuses on literal word-for-word substitution will fail to produce an accurate translation because they are ignoring the semantic contextual background of the text. What is the difference between etymology and semantics? Etymology tells us where a word came. Etymology tells us where a word came from, along with its original and true sense meaning, while semantics tells us how a word acquires new meanings of different contexts. Etymology. Etymology is the study of the origin and historical development of words. It traces how a word is formed, what it originally means, and how it entered a language, often through borrowing from other languages, e.g. Latin, Greek, Old English. It reveals the actual, true, or original meaning of a word and invokes the following questions. Where did the word come from? What were its earlier forms in older languages? How has its spelling or meaning changed? Below, we will trace the word color back to its linguistic roots to uncover its original and true sense meaning. Example, the etymology of the word color comes from Latin colos, meaning a covering. Modern English, number one. Modern English, the word is color. In Middle English, the word is color or color, C-O-L-O-U-R. C-O-L-O-U-R is the British spelling, and it's still this way. The Old English word hue, H-I-W, or hue, H-I-E-W, or hue, H-U-E. Anglo-French. So in Anglo-French, and we're starting with the modern and going back into history. So modern English, Middle English, Old English, Anglo-French, color, C-U-L-U-R, color, C-O-U-L-O-U-R. Old French, color, C-O-L-O-R, meaning complexion or appearance. So in Old French, the word color it meant complexion and appearance. That's when it began to, that's when it acquired this meaning, this new meaning. Latin, colos, C-O-L-O-S, meaning a covering. The Proto-Indo-European pi root of the word color is kel dash, K-E-L dash, meaning to cover, conceal, save. So as we can see, the new acquired meanings for the word color began in Old French as complexion and appearance, but the original meaning is a covering, or to cover, to conceal. Semantics. Semantics is the study of meaning in a language. It encompasses how words acquire new meanings through time and how they are understood in different contexts. It focuses on current usage, shifts in meaning, and contextual interpretation, and focuses on the following questions. Number one, what does this expression mean in context, and how is it meaning, and how is its meaning structured? Number two, how does context affect meaning? Number three, what are its denotations, literal meanings, and connotations, implied meanings? So denotations are the literal meanings, connotations are the implied meanings. How does and four, how does meaning change over time? Example, the word color originally means to cover, hide, conceal, etymology, but its new implied meaning, semantics, primarily refers to the visual perceptual properties of an object, chroma spectrums, i.e., white, black, brown, yellow, red, etc. So the new acquired meaning for color primarily refers to the visual perceptual properties of an object, i.e., white, black, brown, yellow. And those are known as chroma spectrums. Chroma as in chromosome, as in what determines the hue or your complexion for the skin. All right, so semantics of the word color. Literal meaning, the visual perceptual property, chroma spectrums, red, blue, green, etc. Figure of speech, number 2, figure of speech / metaphorical meanings. So this is the figure of speech / metaphorical meanings, not the literal meanings, not the true sense meanings, not the original meanings. So figure of speech, metaphorical meanings, racial / ethnic identity, people of color. Once again, figure of speech. Emotion or vividness, his story, his most emotion or vividness. His story had a lot of color, meaning vivid detail or flair. Political meaning, show your true colors, meaning reveal true intentions. Physics / light refers to how different wavelengths of light are perceived. So people of color is not the true, again, is not the literal true sense meaning. It is the figure of speech, the metaphorical meaning that is used today, that is applied today. Number 3, contextual variations. Colorblind, literal, can't distinguish colors. Metaphorical meaning, claims of racial impartiality. Colored language could mean vulgar language or emotionally charged speech. Semantics. Semantics analyzes how the word color is used in various contexts, its literal versus figurative meanings, and the background or associations it carries. 5 key differences. So these are 5 key differences of etymology and semantics. Etymology comes under historical linguistics, number 1. Number 2, semantics comes under theoretical linguistics and philosophy of language. Number 3, etymology looks at the actual, original, and historical meaning of a word. Number 4, semantics looks at the new meaning of a word as it functions in society today. And number 5, they often overlap, but etymology explains where a word came from, while semantics explains what it means now and how that meaning may change in the future. Connection between the two, etymology and semantics. Etymology and semantics are often related. For example, knowing that the word color comes from Latin colos, a covering, might enrich your understanding of metaphorical meanings like add color to a story, i.e., cover with details. Three aspects / dimensions of semantics. All right. 3 aspects / dimensions of semantics. Number 1, dimension of linguistic units. This dimension focuses on the levels or units of language that carry meaning. Meaning arises at various linguistic levels, from the smallest units to the larger structures. Why it matters. Understanding meaning requires looking at how different units contribute individually and collectively. Dimension of form and meaning. Number 2, dimension of form, meaning. This dimension studies the relationship between linguistic expressions and how their meanings are conveyed. Form, sounds, spelling, syntax, and meaning are closely linked but distinct. Why it matters? Comprehending semantics involves analyzing how specific forms express specific meanings and how changes in form, e.g., tense, voice, affect meaning. Dimension of space, time. This dimension deals with how meaning relates to context, particularly in terms of space, location, and time, temporal reference. Meaning can vary depending on when and where something is said, as well as who is speaking. Why it matters. Meaning is often context dependent. Understanding semantics requires considering these spatial and temporal factors. The elements of the 3 dimensions of semantics. Dimensions of linguistic units. Number 1, dimension of linguistic units. Phonemes are the minimum units of distinctive sound features. Phonology. Example, CH, ch, SH, sh, PH, D, G, E, J, or J, Z, E, J. This is a Thai ligature. The A and the E tied together is A. It makes the sound A, and the last linguistic symbol is an F, ETH, F. That's a Greek symbol. Morphemes. Morphemes are the minimal meaningful units. Lexicology. Example, substantive equals prefix sub dash root / base word sta dash stay dash and suffix ive if. So substantive. Syntagma. Syntagma refers to a sequence. Syntagma refers to a sequence of linguistic elements, e.g., words or morphemes, which are combined according to the rules of syntax to form larger units of meaning. Example, correct. This is correct. The Moor is wearing a fez. That's correct syntax. The Moor is wearing a fez. Incorrect syntax or syntagma. Fez a the wearing is more. Fez a the wearing is more. It's improper. Number 2, dimension of form, meaning. Lexical morphology is the study of how words are formed in a language using morphemes. Example, morphemes in the word subjugate. Iugum, iugum, is the root word. Sub dash, sub dash is the prefix word. And dash ate, eight, is the suffix word for subjugate. Lexical semantics. Lexical semantics is the study of how and why one word acquires different meanings and how those meanings will be the same, synonymy or opposite, antonymy, polysemy, etc. Example: synonymy, personal, private. So that's synonymous. Personal and private are synonymous. All right. Autonomy, and also, think about your right, personal and private. Autonomy, free, free and subjugated. So those will be opposites. Free is opposite from subjugated. Polysemy. The word head can refer to a body part, a position in an organization, or the top of an object. So it's syntactic morphology. Syntactic morphology is the study of how words or their meaningful units, morphemes, interact with syntax, sentence structure, especially how grammatical elements like tense, case, or agreement are expressed through morphology. Example: she walks versus they walk. He gave her a book versus he gave the girl a book. The child is crying versus the children are crying. And she sang versus she sings. Syntactic semantics. Syntactic semantics is the study of how sentence structure influences the meaning of words, even when using the same words. Example: the dog bit the man versus the man bit the dog. So the same words are used, but the message is different. Only Zara studied with the mirror versus Zara only studied with the mirror. Again, same words, different point is made. Flying planes can be dangerous. So, is it referring to a pilot? A pilot who is actually flying the plane. So, flying planes can be dangerous. And also, flying planes can be dangerous. So, the same words, different meanings. It could also mean that the planes in the sky that are flying, can be dangerous. So, flying planes can be dangerous. The planes that are actually flying can be dangerous. Or also, flying them, doing the act of piloting, flying the planes can be dangerous. He saw the man with a telescope. So he saw the man with a telescope. He could be looking at a man through his own telescope, meaning he saw the man through his telescope, saw a man with a telescope. Or he could be looking at a man and the man that he is looking at is actually holding the telescope. So you will use the same words in the same order. He saw the man with a telescope. Number 3, dimension of space-time. Synchronic / descriptive semantics. Synchronic / descriptive semantics is the study that analyzes the structure and usage of a language as it exists at a particular time, focusing on aspects such as grammar, pronunciation, and meaning, without considering historical changes such as sound shifts. This usually deals with the present. Example, showing how the word more, M-O-O-R, showing how the word more can mean either a people, pertaining to nationality, or a type of land, natural landscape. The difference depends on context, not spelling. Diachronic / historical semantics. Diachronic / historical semantics is a study that analyzes the historical structure and usage of a language and how it changes through time, with consideration of its historical shifts and origins. Example, showing how the word more referred to all dark-skinned, swarthy people as used from the 8th century to the early 19th century, but now only refers to the dark-skinned Muslims of medieval Iberia. So now we're going to get into this part talking about semantic changes. Different elements and processes of semantic change. Narrowing. Narrowing is when a word's meaning becomes more specific or restricted through time. Example, the word America originally referred to the copper tone Aboriginal and indigenous people of North, Central, and South America, but its use has been restricted to refer to only the citizens of the United States of America. Broadening is when a word's meaning expands to encompass a wider range of reference or concepts than before. Example, the words Negro and Black were used as descriptive words, adjectives, to describe inanimate objects, but its usage broadened into a noun sense and now refers to the subjugated Moors, who are classified as Negroes and Blacks in the United States Census Bureau. Pejoration is when a word's meaning shifts to become more negative or unfavorable through time. Example, the original meaning of the word sin is full moon in ancient Sumerian and Akkadian, and the pejorative meaning of the word sin is moral evil in modern English. Amelioration. Amelioration is when a word's meaning shifts to become more positive or favorable through time. Example, the word knight, K-N-I-G-H-T. The word knight was first used in reference to a servant, but is now used in reference to a heroic warrior. Reappropriation. Reappropriation is when a group takes back a term that was once used in a negative way and uses it positively or with pride. Example, the word black is used to strip the Moors of their identity, i.e., to dehumanize, denationalize, and subjugate, but has been reappropriated by the people classified as Negro, Black, and colored in the United States Census Bureau. Reclamation. Reclamation is a word that was previously used to reduce the ranking or status of a people. Reclamation is a word that was previously used to reduce the ranking or status of a people, is reappropriated and used by such people in a is reappropriated and used by such people in a positive way. Example: the word black, when referring to people, was/is used to subjugate, denationalize, and dehumanize the Moors. But today, the Moors, while in a subjugated status, have been systematically conditioned to reclaim the word black to mean strong and beautiful. Substitution. Substitution is the process of replacing a word or phrase with another word or phrase without changing the overall meaning of the sentence, as long as both expressions refer to the same entity or idea. Example: today the Moors, number one, today the Moors are under subjugation of the United States. Number two, the people classified as Black in the United States Census Bureau are under subjugation of the United States. Analogy. Analogy is the comparison of two pairs of words or concepts that share a similar relationship or semantic structure. It focuses on the similarity in relationship between word pairs and not just between individual words. Example: part to whole, wheel is to car as key is to keyboard. So the wheel would be a part of the whole, which is the car. A key will be a part of the whole, which is a keyboard. Cause and effect. Virus is to illness as fire is to burn. So viruses cause illness and fires cause burns. Synonym. Synonym. Big is to large as tiny is to small. So big and large referring to the same, big and large, tiny and small. Nationality. So nationality. Moor is to Morocco as French is to France. So Moor is the national name for the citizens of Morocco, for the citizens of Morocco, for the Moroccan Empire. Moor. French would be the national name for the citizens of France. Metaphor. Metaphor is a type of meaning. Metaphor is a type of meaning change where a word is used in a non-literal way based on similarity. Example: the Moors were the light during the Dark Ages. In this sense, being the light refers to bringing knowledge amongst those who lack knowledge. So those who lack knowledge would be considered as being in the dark. Those with the knowledge are referred to as being the light or having the light. Metonymy. Metonymy is a change in meaning where something is referred to by something closely related to it, not based on similarity, but association. Example, the crown can mean the monarchy because of the association with royal power. Boots on the ground can mean to be active because of the association with soldiers. Nomination is the act. Nomination is the act of giving a name to something, creating a lexical item for a new concept or object. Example, the term African American was nominated by Jesse Jackson to identify the denationalized and subjugated Moors who have been classified as Negro, colored, and black in the United States Census Bureau. Adequation. Adequation is the alignment between the intended meaning of a message by the sender and the interpreted meaning by the receiver, particularly in context. Example, correct equals I'm going to attend the study group versus incorrect, I'm going towards the study group tonight. Permutation. Permutation refers to the reordering of elements in a sentence or phrase, usually to achieve a different emphasis, style, grammatical structure, or meaning, while preserving grammatical correctness. Example, standard. The Queen of Hawaii surrendered to the United States under protest. Permuted. Under protest, the Queen of Hawaii surrendered to the United States. Regular transfer refers to a predictable and systematic shift in meaning, where a word or phrase is used in a different but related sense. It allows language users to comprehend non-literal meanings without confusion because the shift is conventional and commonly accepted. Example, non-literal. This is the non-literal phrase. He drank 2 cups. Non-literal. He drank 2 cups. The literal meaning, a cup is a container. So the cup itself, that object, is a container. Transfer meaning. So what was meant by the non-literal, he drank 2 cups, is he drank the liquid inside the cup. Because he can't drink the container, which is, the literal meaning for cup. All right, so this section is called, Did the Meaning of the Word Evolve or Devolve? Use etymonline.com. So you can Google etymonline.com, use that dictionary as a reference, as a source for the findings of fact. Type in the word evolve, devolve, every word that I've been reading tonight, every word that I've read tonight. So evolve. So the word evolve, meaning X, or X, the word X, EX, dash, meaning out, plus volvere, VOLVERE, to roll, equals to roll out, So evolve means to roll out. Devolve, the prefix de dash, meaning down, plus volvere, the root word, meaning to roll, equals to roll down. So evolve means to roll out. Devolve means to roll down. When a word evolves etymology, the original meaning gains more power. When a word devolves semantics, the original meaning loses power. So let's look into the semantic and the etymological meaning of the following words. The word Aryan, semantics dash connotative dash new meaning of Aryan. Aryan. In the 1920s, it began to be used in Nazi ideology to mean member of a Caucasian Gentile race of Nordic type. That's the semantic meaning, the connotative meaning. So now the etymology dash denotative dash true sense meaning of the word Aryan. Aryan. Persians use the name in reference to themselves, hence Iran. Ultimately from Sanskrit, Arya, compatriot. In later language, noble of good family. The word slave. The word slave, semantics dash connotative dash new meaning of the word slave. Slave, century 1300. Person who is the chattel or property of another. Used in this sense because of the many Slavs, i.e. Eastern Europeans, sold into slavery by conquering people, that is the Moors, between the 8th through 15th centuries. So again, the word slave as the 13th century, as the century 1300s, person who is the chattel or property of another. And this meaning came about because of the many Slavs, i.e. Eastern Europeans, who were sold into slavery by conquering people, namely the Moors, between the 8th and 15th centuries. So the etymology dash denotative dash true sense meaning of slave, the word slave from 850 AD to 1100 AD, Old Church Slavonic, Slavanunu, a Slav. So this is actually a nationality. So the original meaning is not negative. The true sense meaning is not negative. It's referring to a nationality. So it's a people, a nation of people. And what happened to that nation of people between the 8th and 15th centuries, by the Moors, which were the conquering people at that time, that's where the connotative meaning for the word slave comes into play. So that's how the connotative meaning for the word slave was acquired, because of the act. The word nice. Semantics, the semantics and connotative and new meaning of the word nice. Nice, 1769. Agreeable, delightful. And in 1830s, kind, thoughtful. So in 1769, it meant the meaning was agreeable, delightful. And by the 1830s, the acquired meaning was kind and thoughtful. So the etymology, the denotative, the true sense meaning of nice, of the word nice, nice, from Latin, ne dash, nay, meaning not, plus Latin, sire, to know, equals not to know. So the etymological, denotative, true sense meaning of the word nice means not to know. The word which, semantic, connotative, new meaning of the word which. Which, Old English, Weiss, female magician, sorceress. In later use, a woman supposed to have dealings with the devil or evil spirits, and to be able, by their cooperation, to perform supernatural acts. That's the connotative, semantic, new meaning. The etymology, denotative, true sense meaning of the word which, from Proto-Indo-European, weg, W-E-G, dash, to be strong, be lively. The word consider, semantics, dash, connotative, dash, new meaning of the word consider. Consider, 14th century. To fix the mind upon for careful examination, meditate upon, also view attentively, scrutinize, not to be negligent of. The etymology, dash, denotative, dash, true sense meaning of the word consider. Consider, from Latin, con, dash, together, with, plus Latin, sidereus, heavenly body, star, constellation, equals stars together. The word desire, semantics, the semantic dash connotative dash new meaning of the word desire. Desire, 1200s, to wish or long for, express a wish, to obtain. Etymology, denotative, true sense meaning of desire. Desire, from Latin, sidus, S-I-D-U-S, meaning heavenly body, star, constellation, plus Latin, D, meaning down from, equals down from the stars. So the word desire means down from the stars. That's the true sense meaning. The word disaster, semantics dash connotative dash new meaning of the word disaster. Disaster, 1590s, anything that befalls of ruinous or distressing nature, any unfortunate event. Etymology dash denotative dash true sense meaning of disaster. Disaster, from Italian dis dash, ill, plus Italian astro, star, planet, equals ill-starred. The word sin, semantic, connotative, new meaning of the word sin. Sin, from Old English, sin, S-Y-N-N, S-Y-N, violation of divine law, offense against God, moral wrongdoing. Etymology dash denotative dash true sense meaning of sin. Sin, from Proto-Indo-European, root, sint, ya, SNT-YA, Cynthia. It is true. Ancient Sumerian, Nana, to Akkadian, Suin, crescent, moon. So Suin, Sun, in Akkadian is the crescent moon, and Sin, Sin, in Akkadian is the full moon. So that's the end of the linguistic lesson. The difference between etymology and semantics. See if there are any questions, comments. Greetings. Peace. All right, so our mission is to recover our lost sovereignty. All right, so this lesson, right? How can this lesson help a people who are subjugated and stripped of their native/cultural tongue recover lost sovereignty? So how can this lesson help a people recover, people who are subjugated and stripped of their native tongue? How can it help them recover their lost sovereignty? So this is a deeply important application. Language, culture, and power are deeply linked. The distinction between etymology and semantics becomes a lens through which to recover identity, understand suppression, and to reclaim voice. So number one, reclaiming cultural meaning through etymology. When a community or a people has had its native tongue suppressed or stripped, exploring the origins of its words in the native language helps reconnect with heritage, worldview, and meaning that were lost or hidden. Etymology becomes a cultural excavation, showing how words derived, what the original meanings were, what shifts occurred, often due to colonization, suppression, borrowing, and other semantic applications. This helps a people recover the linguistic history and identity. It shows that their language is not simply a deviation or simplified version of the dominant tongue, but a system with its own roots, logic, and meaning systems. Number two, understanding semantic shifts as consequences of power and suppression. Semantics helps a subjugated people understand how words in the dominant language may have shifted meaning, been distorted, or how translations may have misrepresented native words. Awareness of semantic sound shifts and changes of meaning can help people who have been stripped of their native tongue to critically engage with the language of dominance and reclaim their narrative. For example, certain native language words may have been replaced by colonizing terminology. Tracing semantic change helps highlight what was lost and what can be reclaimed. A strong example of dominant language shifting, meaning and translation being misrepresented comes from how indigenous languages are translated into colonial or dominant languages like English often flattening or distorting meaning due to cultural and conceptual differences. Example, the Hawaiian word aloha. Original Hawaiian aloha. Common English translation, hello or goodbye. Misrepresentation. In English, aloha is often reduced to a casual greeting or farewell. In Hawaiian culture, however, aloha carries a much deeper spiritual and relational meaning. It expresses love, peace, compassion, and mutual respect, a whole way of living and being. Why this happens? English as the dominant language imposes its limited equivalence on a word that functions very differently in its original context. The rich cultural and spiritual layers of aloha get lost in translation, misrepresenting not just the word, but Hawaiian worldview and values. Broader implication. This is a classic case of linguistic imperialism, where the dominant language shapes understanding on its own terms, often erasing or diluting the cultural significance embedded in the original tongue. So it is a cultural erasure. Recovery of a lost tongue. Number 3. With etymology and semantics, a subjugated people can begin to recover or revitalize their language, define words, understand roots, renew usage, reclaim vocabulary for public life, education, community, governance, media, etc. This is a part of sovereignty, the ability to speak, define, think, communicate in one's own language with understood meaning and history, not only from the colonial perspective. Number 4, strengthening bilingual or multilingual proficiency. Many communities operate in both a dominant language and their heritage language. Using etymology and semantics, they can map correspondences, heritage language roots, dominant language borrowings, and shifts in meaning. This helps translate not just words, but cultural concepts, which strengthens cross-language identity. It also enables a subjugated people to engage with educational systems, media, governance in both languages more competently. Number 5, awareness of language as an instrument of power. This lesson helps people recognize that language isn't neutral, how words are used, whose vocabulary is standard, whose meanings are legitimized, are questions of power. Semantics shows how meaning is negotiated. Etymology shows how words arose, changed, and who influenced those changes. With that awareness, a subjugated people can challenge dominant language assumptions, reclaim their native forms, and strengthen cultural sovereignty, national sovereignty. Summary. In short, teaching students, communicators, a subjugated people, the difference between etymology and semantics equips them with a better comprehension of how language works. This deeper understanding leads to better vocabulary, better comprehension, better writing for students, better intergenerational and cross-context communication for young adults and elders, and language reclaiming, cultural resilience, and sovereignty building for communities or nations of people whose native tongue has been suppressed. So that's the end of the basic linguistic lesson, the difference between etymology and semantics. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat. Any comments, put them in the chat. Once again, my contact info, Yisrael Bay on Facebook, Word Step Study Group on Facebook, at Word Step Study Group, capital W for word, capital S for step, capital S for study, capital G for group, and Word Step Study Group at 333 and Word Step Study Group 333 at gmail.com for email. So going through the chats. Brother Obadiah, peace. Greetings to the Moorish Moroccans. Jeffrey Bay, peace, peace. So was the word, as a question, was the word nigga reappropriated? Nigga. So we're gonna go to the element of reappropriation. So reappropriation is when a group takes back a term that was once used in a negative way and uses it positively or with pride. So example, the word black is used to strip the Moors of their identity, i.e. to dehumanize, denationalize, and subjugate, but has been reappropriated by the people classified as Negro, black, and colored in the United States Census Bureau. So I would say the word nigga, Nigga, yeah. So the word nigga is a variation of the word nigger, so a Negro as well. So yeah, etymology said the word nigger, Nigger, a noun, 1786. Earlier, neger, Neger, 1568, Scottish and Northern England dialect. Negar, Negar, Negur, from French, negre, from Spanish, negro, see negro. So the group takes back a term that was once used in a negative way. Yeah. I would say the word nigga is a reappropriation. Type it. All right. Death, a comment. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. That's Proverbs 18:21. Yes. Much welcome. Much welcome. Congress can change a people's classification by legislation. Yeah, and that's because they exercise territorial sovereignty. You know, Congress of a sovereign nation will exercise territorial sovereignty. So, the United States Congress exercising territorial sovereignty, yeah, they can legislate the classification for its citizens or subjects. Mm-hmm. So, any questions pertaining to semantics, etymology, linguistics? Type in your comments. Type your comments in the chat. Type your questions in the chat. Any confusion? Type that in the chat. So, let me see. Subjugation has nothing to do with birth certificates, marriage license, Social Security, etc. Those actions are domestic. Subjugation is an international principle, a rule of international law. Indeed. Question: if the word nigga is reappropriated, why do our people get mad when other people use the word in the same context they are using it in? Well, I'm sure the main reason behind our people getting mad is lack of knowledge, the lack of the knowledge of the contextual history, the historical context of the word. Hold on one moment. Peace, bro. Y'all still on here? Excuse me. All right, so let's see. Yeah, so our people will get mad at other people calling them the word nigga. I guess it started off as we did comprehend, our people did comprehend that there was a strip, it was stripping us of our national characteristics or our human identity. Like when people were called Negro, Black, colored, our people would stand for that. You know, like our people would fight, whether it was Negro, Black, or colored, really. So then they reclaimed it to mean something positive for themselves, and you know, but that's the semantics of it. So through that reclamation, that's a semantic application, taking a word that was negative and giving it a positive spin, using it for, you know, putting a positive twist on it, a positive uh, concept, I guess, but it's a misconception. So etymology is the truth, indeed, but it must be accompanied with semantics and other linguistic principles. So etymology doesn't just stand alone. If the etymology of the word family means groups of slaves, what word should we use instead? Well, it depends on what you're referring to. I guess if you're referring to your relatives, you know, there are plenty words: relative, kin, clan, tribe. According to the United States of America, we are more subjects or subjects of Morocco. Now, brother, according to the United States of America, we are Negroes, Black, and colored. We've been stripped. The United States is continuing that stripping, continuing that suppression, continuing the subjugation of our nationality. We got good 30 minutes left. Let's talk about who's going to show all the up and coming sleepy-headed Moors to be able to get their state back from those who stole it. Well, this is part of it. This is part of recovering the lost sovereignty. This is reclaiming our tongue. This is recovering our tongue. Because words are going to be involved, dealing with politics, civics, whatever area in life, words are going to be involved. Words are going to play a crucial part in every situation of life. So we want to have our tongue in order. We want to reconnect our hypoglossal nerve. You know, we want to become aware of the rules for the tongue, the rules of languages. Let's see if there's anything I missed up here. And also, the ones who stole, let's say, our state was conquered. We were stripped of a people, but it wasn't by the United States. It was by Spain, Portugal, France, Sweden, Dutch Netherlands, England/Great Britain. The United States didn't exist when those actions were taking place. When the colonization, the conquering, uh, stripping us of our national principles and things, our national characters or characteristics. The United States maintains the stripping, maintains the colonization, the subjugation, and they maintain that. Evidence is options when filling out an application or anything else. And the options for race, they put the word race on there, which is a Francois Bonner ideology or concept, a colonial concept. So they apply that Francois Bonner's concept, white, black, and then people have to choose. So yeah, that's birthright theft. A form of active birthright theft, yeah. Moors have been subjugated, forced into the United States legal system. Yeah. Forced into the United States public schooling system, which in return, misconceptions of the language of linguistics was forced into our minds as well. What are some dog whistle rhetoric used in linguistics? Can you retype your question with more clarity, please? I'm about to link to this dog whistle rhetoric real quick, bro. Dog whistle examples include the phrase states' rights, which has been used to oppose civil rights for Black Americans and more recently, same-sex marriage and abortion rights. Another example is from the river to the sea. Yeah, I have to look deeper into that. Can't really respond to that. Any more questions? Any questions? Why are these lessons not given in the public schools? Question. Conquest. All right. Check out my page, Word Step Study Group. Also, I've presented this lesson. This lesson is being presented on a couple other YouTube platforms or channels. NYP Talk Show. Yeah. And I have presented this lesson on Moorish Monday, but not this section of the lesson. So, all right, well, no questions, no more comments. All right, we say dog whistle rhetoric is a strategic use of language where a speaker embeds a secondary, often covert meaning that is detectable only by a target audience. So it seems like trigger words or something. It's basically people are being miseducated about certain words, so when they hear that word, they'll respond a certain way. Let me know if that's in bounds with what you. And also, yeah, this lesson it would get rid of those trigger words, those controlling words. You hear this word, makes you feel this way, makes you feel that way. Yeah, linguistic lessons will cure that. Okay. All right. I want to thank everyone for their attention. I want to thank everyone for your attention, for your time. Hopefully, you learned something today from this linguistic lesson, something of value, some substance that you can take. Please challenge this information. Please challenge everything. Use findings of fact, evidentiary standards, sources to support to support whether you agree or disagree. Just make sure it's backed up with facts, with evidence. Teaching the people how to think critically, how to properly analyze information, words. So yeah. So all right, that'll be it for tonight's class. Thanks again for watching, everyone, on Magnet's Crystal Pyramid of Moorish Monday with Brother Abdullah Talib Mosey Bey and myself, Yisrael Bey. Peace, peace.